Everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. Today we have William Peace University with us, and we just want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to use the chat feature to get your questions in there, and then they will be answered at the end of this presentation. In addition, we are recording this, so please keep yourself muted. We can get started. Thank you.
Fantastic. Hi, guys. My name is Beth. I'm from William Peace University. I'm so you guys are able to join us today. We know these are less than ideal circumstances, and I wish I could have each and every single one of you joining me around campus and kind of, exploring what Peace has to offer in its full effect. But I think this is a phenomenal event, and I'm so excited you guys are all able to join us here today. A quick pre-tour presentation, which you would typically get when you get on campus to learn a little bit more about Peace. And then I'll just take you through a few changes that we're actually implementing at the moment. Through the COVID-19, we do have a few different changes to our admissions standards and recruitment cycle. So I'll give you guys a little insight on that. And then I'll just take you through the website. I can show you a little bit better how we can navigate that if you guys are interested in applying or connecting with me further. So I am the recruiter for William Peace University in Durham. So I'm your go-to person for any questions that you have. And I will go ahead and get started here. If it wants to let me. Perfect. So why William Peace University? If you guys were on campus, I would say turn around and look outside. We are in the heart of downtown Raleigh. When you walk through our main lawn, you look up at this skyline. Raleigh is absolutely incredible for so many different reasons, and one of them being our interest in new immersive learning. Immersive learning is what we do when we get outside of the classroom, when we get outside of the textbook. It's our way of really involving our students in what they love to do, what they are interested in pursuing. So we have a whole new Immersive Learning Center. Sorry, it says my internet is insecure, so if it goes out, let me know. We have a whole new Immersive Learning Center where students are really learning what that means to be involved in their studies. So with Chris Bourne, Dr. Chris Bourne, who is our director of the Immersive Learning Center, we've actually engaged every single one of our curriculum to have an element of this immersive learning. And 100% of our students do complete an internship. So that internship is really helping students go out, get those hands-on activities, understanding that, what you really want to be able to put on a resume before even graduating. 98% of our students are actually placed within a full-time job or in graduate school within 1 year of graduation, and actually around 60% of our students are placed in full-time employment from that internship that they complete while at William Peace. We have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio, around 1,000 undergraduate students, so really small community-based feel while being in Raleigh. So Raleigh's giving you kind of that big 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. You're really having more of a mentorship with your professor than you are just being one amongst 300 in the lecture hall. They're going to know your names, you're going to know their names. They're going to know if you're not in class. They're going to know if you are. It's a really huge benefit for people who might need that little extra push to really show up and feel that connection with the person who's teaching them. We do have 27 majors to choose from. That ranges from your business analytics to leadership and nonprofit management, simulation and game design, to criminal justice. We have so many different disciplines that you can really explore with that immersive element involved as well. So really figuring out what career in one of those disciplines. 30 plus clubs and organizations. So all to do on campus and off campus. And if you are an athlete, we do have 18 D3 athletic teams. So especially on game days, we love to, wear our Pacer gear and really go out and support our Pacers, especially our women's basketball, who did phenomenally this year. So we're really excited to see our athletic teams really growing as well. And then for our admissions profile, if we're looking at the 2019 freshman class. You can see kind of the averages here, 0.47 GPA, and then pretty mid SAT and ACT scores. And then for our transfer students, we do have that 3.2 average GPA, and we do require a 2.0 GPA requirement. And about the admissions process, I will speak a little bit more on this that isn't included. We have some changes for this 2020 cycle due to COVID, but we are enrolling at Mission School. Typically, we do want to see a deposit before May 1st with that May 1 deadline, but because of what we are dealing with at the moment, we have actually pushed that deposit refund deadline to June 19th. So students are able to deposit up until June 19th and be able to refund that at any point. Say if financially something happens with your family, or if you are having a change of heart or need any changes, we're going to work with you through that the whole way. Of course, we'd love to be able to fulfill whatever need it is, but if we are unable, we are able to give that back until June 19th. But we are rolling admission, so you can really apply and deposit up until move-in, though we don't recommend it. Our students can go ahead and apply online. That is the URL right there. I can also put that in the link below. Typically, we do require test scores, transcripts, and dual enrolled transcripts or you have completed. And so for the 2020 season, what we're actually going to do is you are not able, because so many of our students were unable to retake their test scores or weren't able to yet take the ACT or SAT, we are offering in lieu or of the scores, students will be an interview and an essay in place of submitting their test scores. We'll still need that transcript, but we will also ask that you kind of pick which one is going to best be utilized for your independent situation. So there is a little bit of leniency there for this current cycle. And then if you are, so we're not really calling it test optional, but just for this section and this so we're not requiring us for our to do their test score, but we always encourage it. So we really want our students to tell their story. Let us know who you are, what your background is, what you're interested in. Anything that we can see about you and learn about you, we'll be able have more of a holistic view. Letters of recommendation can always be of assistance. We really want to know what you're like in the classroom, where you really excel, maybe where some of your challenges lay. And then this is always a really stressful time, especially the times that we're amongst right now. So we really do want to make a decision within 2 weeks. So a really quick turnaround time. And then for scholarships and financial aid, a little profile on that. We do have our academic scholarships up to $16,000 a year. Our honors program scholarship as well. Our honors program is absolutely phenomenal. Ms. Heidi Gaylor is the director of that program, and you're going to be able to select classes with a group of our honors students who you will be invited to apply to the honors program and then submit an essay. We'll be able to gauge that and then either offer you or we'll offer you admission into that, and with that there will be a scholarship. That scholarship does increase annually as you're diving a little bit further into that honors program. This past year we've actually rolled out our first leadership and service scholarship. And when you are applying for your application, we will be reviewing for that. And so that is a range of scholarship opportunities, but we really do want our students to be able to be rewarded for all of the hard work and leadership and service that they've done in the past, with hopes that they're going to bring those same qualities and implement them at WPU. We do also offer a need-based scholarship. We do require that the FAFSA is filled out, and then also any financial aid and need-based award we will include in the package and send out to you. Additional resources, any outside scholarships we recommend looking into, and we can always stack those on top of our scholarships as well. And next steps We're just going to go on to that website right there. And then we also have a lot of different social media avenues which are being implemented and explored at the moment. So our ZME is kind of really gaining a lot of buzz with this time with everyone at home, and Instagram and YouTube, always a great way to have that kind of more personalized insight into what life as a PACER is. And we do have that change deposit deadline. So we do recommend our students, taking their time to figure out what is best for them. And then we also just rolled out a way to schedule one-on-one appointments. So we could kind of do what we're doing here, but on a one-on-one basis online. So I will actually take you, I can figure out how to move my screen really quickly. This is also just important links about making contact with your admissions counselor, as you can see here, the counties in which I am the counselor for. My name is Beck Simon. And then let me see here. All right. I apologize. Give me 1 second here. And I can take you guys through the website. So if you, can everyone see that? Okay, perfect. So if you come onto the WPU website, you can look for the admissions counselors. I've just brought up my page to kind of show where you would be able to go and contact me, and just also if you're looking to apply, and also for our virtual tours. Up in the corner right here, you can see the apply button. That's going to take you through, kind of like I touched on, we do have a really simple application. So I do recommend kind of checking that out if you are a graduating senior. And we also, I forgot to mention this earlier, but we have waived our application fee just to make it a little bit more accessible in these times. For you to go on, if you have yet to apply or know where you're going, we'd love to read your application. Right now also is our virtual tour, so that's going to take you through a quick virtual tour. You can kind of check out the buildings. I always love to go onto Google Maps as well, wherever I'm going traveling and stuff, so I think this is a great idea as well, and just go on and see what's around Peace. There's so many coffee shops and restaurants and museums, so many things that you'd be able to really dive into and find of interest. So I definitely recommend checking that out and taking that virtual tour, just seeing the amenities that we have and kind of getting a feel for what Peace really feels like. So if you come onto the counselor page here, you'll see my phone number and then a number me at. So if you have any questions while you're going through, feel free to will be me answering. It's not a robot. People are surprised to find that out. And then of course my email there as well. If you would like to schedule a virtual meeting with me, I'd be more than happy to. We can sit down, talk about your transcript, talk about what classes, what major you're going to get into. Really want to make that. I'm more than happy to sit down with you as many times as you know. Admissions information as well, and just a little bit about what it's like to be a first-year student at WPU. So hopefully this will. I apologize, that's my computer. But yeah, feel free to take a look onto the WPU website. Feel free to reach out to me. I would love to chat with anybody who's interested in joining us at Peace next year or in the next few years. And I'll go over here. Are there any questions about William Peace University that I can answer for folks? Oh.
So we can give people some time to start putting their questions in the chat. But can you tell us a little bit more about why Peace would be a good option for students from Durham?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think also I will say, just to preface, there's no school that's going to be perfect for everyone. For what I would think would be a really big drive, it's so close to home, and I think especially in these times as well, being able to be close to family or be able to, go back to where your home is, being really close, that's definitely something that I find really appealing, especially in some of the uncertainty at this time. I also think that Peace just has such a different aura and vibe to it than Durham does. So if you're looking for a little bit of a change of scenery as well, that's definitely something that I would recommend. Peace has such an intimate kind of family vibe and experience about it that I definitely think that students would be able to really resonate with that. And then I'm seeing over here about housing, guaranteed for all 4 years of attendance. So we require on-campus housing for 3 years. So it is not guaranteed for 4 years, but I would say that a good portion of our students do have on-campus housing for 4 years. So I definitely can't say there's a guarantee, but at least for 3 years, and then going forward from there, I would say there's a high possibility, though quite a few students also do find like houses together off campus. Yeah, so we do have some students who are definitely able to commute from Durham. Sorry, I didn't read the question out, but we do have a few students who come from Durham and are able to do that commute. You would just fill out that housing commuting form. And from there, if it's in 50 miles, it would be almost certainly approved. And then you would be able to come and go as you please. We are a part of the Raleigh Consortium of Colleges as well. So you are able to take classes at NC State, St. Aug, Meredith, Wake Tech. And so that would just be complete the same tuition in which we currently would have at Peace. You would be able to take any classes we don't offer at any of those surrounding schools as well. Yeah, and so then the question was just asked to speak about the diversity within the student body, especially for being a small private institution, also in South. We are one of few colleges that we do not have a 50% majority of any race or ethnicity. So in that way, we are a very diverse student body. We do have a really big focus on diversity and inclusion, an entire department based out of William Peace that really does focus on making sure that students are feeling included, their voices are heard. And so we really do pride ourselves on that. It is one of our strategic pillars as well, to make sure that, and morals that we really uphold at Peace. We have a lot of different clubs based on people's different diverse needs and understandings, and it's always a very open conversation at Peace. As far as I know, there is not a limit to the amount of classes that students are able to take at other colleges. I will say that you are not able to major in any major that is not offered at William Peace. So you're able to substitute different classes or explore different, majors and disciplines that we don't offer, but you are not able to kind of take that on as an additional major. You don't offer it. Yeah. Okay, and so the question was, can you talk about funding opportunities for DACA and undocumented students? So I've actually been working this past year with my previous director who just left actually, but we've been working really closely, really defining around what opportunities we are able to offer for our undocumented students and for our DACA recipient students. So it's something that we've really been working and putting in place. without being able to fill out the FAFSA, it's difficult to get federal funding, is my understanding. But as a private institution, we are able to offer that merit-based scholarship based on what Peace is able to offer. So, of course, it is hard to get kind of a comprehensive package without being able to fill out that FAFSA. But we will do whatever we are able to offer for merit-based funding from William Peace University. And study abroad opportunities, we have some phenomenal different partners for study abroad, as well as a lot of our different programs from Peace. So depending on what your major is, there are kind of classes that offer different excursions and different study abroad opportunities. I know some of our students just returned from a semester in Florence in Italy, working with different theater and different performing arts styles for their BFA. So that sounded like an incredible opportunity. I know a lot of our biology departments and students have gone to Costa Rica and looked at the ecology of different places there. There's a lot of different opportunities for students to really get out and about, explore the world. It is not a requirement as it is in some other schools, but it's definitely something that we recommend our students exploring if they're able. We do offer quite a bit of scholarships for that as well. And so we want that to be something that is accessible to folks if it's something they're interested in doing. All right, and this question is talking about the maximum amount of merit-based funding and the GPA test scores. So our merit-based scholarships go up to $16,000 a year. And we do look at GPA and test scores as well. So we really do want to see above a 2.5 and an 18 and an 880 is what we want to see above for us to consider for scholarshiping as well. And so there really is quite a range what we'll see from kind of there on upward. So it really does depend. Of course, we do look at our students holistically, so there isn't a direct amount based on any certain kind of or test score. But of course, the higher, the better when it comes to the merit-based aid that we're able to offer. But of course, we are looking at you as kind of a holistic approach as well. So there's definitely some changing and shifting that can happen based on what you're able to provide to us, and there's a recommendation and conversations with professors and that kind of stuff. So almost 100% of our students do receive some kind of merit-based funding. What are our most popular majors? Our most popular majors are psychology, criminal justice, and one of our top growing is our simulation and game design major. These majors, of course, many of them are popular kind of amongst the United States and are growing at psychology and criminal justice. Simulation and game design major is one of very few that is really exploding at the moment. It's a really phenomenal major. I knew very little about it going into Peace, and kind of learning about what that even meant, as in my mind it just goes right to video games, which I don't have much understanding of, but I sat down with the director of that program to just say, hey, can you tell me a little bit more on this? And he was just telling me about all the incredible partnerships that we have all around Raleigh and in the area in Raleigh-Durham as well. With Epic Games and Ubisoft as well. A lot of our students are finding these really great internships and finding these ways to really take a passion and combine it with what they want to do in their career. And that can be said for so many different majors as well. We're getting those hands-on experiences while they're exploring their majors. And there's also lots of different information and YouTube videos on our website, which I do recommend folks check out, because there are so many different students who have given their accounts of, you know, being in the majors, in their internships, and being able to really, you know, promote what they have learned and where they're going and their career goals with that. So being able to check that out from somebody who's in the major, definitely recommend. And is your graduation rate? Yeah, so our graduation rate has actually fluctuated quite a bit. When we did go co-ed quite a few years ago, we did have quite a down pattern in our graduation. It was, I believe, a little below 50%, but we're really working hard to kind of get that up higher and higher. There were quite a few folks who were disappointed to see us go co-ed, and that did affect, especially most pertinent on the websites around college retention. So that is one of our biggest initiatives to really try and boost that graduation rate. We have many times been a school where folks come and they do first 2 years and then transfer out. So of course that negatively affects our graduation rates in some respects too, though we're really happy to see our students going to universities and places that really fit their goals, and that's exciting. But we really are looking to keep our students as a start piece, finish a piece school, and we want students to really invest in the family atmosphere. So we're definitely trying to steer away from that and keep retention growing, which we have been in the last few years, but we're excited to see it continue. And then for our male to female ratio, we are almost about 50-50. So it is really, really even. If that's something we did even out really quickly when we went co-ed. What kind of support services does WP offer to students who may be struggling academically? That's a fantastic question. More than any school that I've ever worked with, WPU does a great job of really diving into their student success. And so in our library, we do have we have students as well, but we have our career services, and then we also have our academic support. So different advisors to be able to walk students through what career path they're looking to go on, really taking on, different tutoring services and different kind of disability resources as well. They really want to see our students succeed, and are really willing to take that one-on-one time to make that happen. I really, really have been blown away by them and their commitment to their students over and over again. So every kind of resource in our library, I feel like, is completely devoted to watching our students succeed. And even if you're not struggling, if you were really excelling, being able to share that as a tutor as well, a peer tutor, that is a paid position that a lot of our students do take on and are able to assist other students who might be on the other end, just haven't really grasped a lot of those topics yet. And having that kind of peer support, I think, can be really beneficial as well. Yeah, so for the employment rate after graduation, it was in that slide, it was about 98% of our students are in full-time employment or have gone on to a different graduate school or medical school after graduation. So really, really high rates for employment after graduation. That's something we're really proud of, and we really do pull back to our internship program as well, really getting those transferable skills to take from a working environment and implement into the workplace after graduation. And then for what resources are there for career grad school readiness? Our Career Design Center really works with our students starting, I believe, their junior year, and kind of preparing mock interviews, working through resumes, learning about networking. It's a very, very hands-on kind of purpose of making sure that students are really prepared to get out in the workforce after graduation. So there's a lot of different conversation there, and it is really worked into our curriculum as well, both junior and senior year, learning about how to go out after college and really secure a job in the career that students are really excited about getting. And that is also lifelong services as well. So if you graduate from William Peace University, you are able to use those resources, say you're 10 years down the line and you need to redo your resume or you're making a career shift, those folks are still going to be there to be able to have that conversation with you and make sure that you are fully ready to go out and embrace that job search as well. So, yeah.
I don't see any more questions, but we can give students, just a minute or two to add anything else, we do want to thank you so much for taking the time this morning to chat with us, answer all of our questions.
Absolutely.
And if you wouldn't mind sending us the virtual resources, your contact information, so that we can put this on our spreadsheet where we're compiling different virtual resources the schools are offering, that would be awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And should I just send that through to you?
Yeah, you can send it to Christina or the Game Plan College email.
Okay.
Either one works for us. We do want to, okay, Christina will email you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys are all doing well and including us.
Thank you so much. And students, please don't forget to fill out our quick feedback survey. We really appreciate it. And once again, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you. Have a good day.